Lives podcast. Just a few quick things here. Make sure you go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, share, rate, subscribe, etc., etc. If you want to support the podcast, make sure you go to anchor.fm/skulls and knives. Click the support tab. And sorry, the children just went to sleep, so I have to be a little quiet. $1 gets you into the Facebook group. $5 gets you into the Facebook group and a free sticker. And $10 a month will get you into the group, sticker, shirt, and free random stuff. Yeah, so that's all the little nooks and crannies. With me today, I got my father-in-law, Jason Hamman. What's up?
Another day, another dollar.
For sure.
In debt.
So you were telling me an Uber story today.
Yeah, that happened last night.
Yeah, really, it's hilarious.
There are criminals trying to scam the Uber and Lyft drivers.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a ride request last night that sent me over to University of Portland. And on my way over there,
mm-hmm.
I got a message that riders can text, say, hey, I'm wearing this, or I'm standing on this corner, or
mm-hmm.
I'll be on my way down, and we can let them know that we've arrived and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, because a lot of people don't sit there and look at their phone. They
mm-hmm.
might, especially if I pull up to a club, I'm always sending messages because that gives a different alert.
Uh-huh.
And anyhow, I started on my way there, and I got an in-app message saying it's Uber support, that they generated this ride, that I need to call them using the passenger line, which was automatically a red flag. Uber support doesn't send us messages. They send us an email and a text on my phone. They don't send messages through the rider app.
Mm-hmm.
And so I continued. I was only 4 minutes away from the pickup. I knew it was a scam once I got that message.
Mm-hmm.
And I just figured I'm going to go there, wait, no show, collect my $5 and go back to work. I did. And right after they sent that message 3 times. And once the waiting period of 5 minutes reached, we have the option to cancel and collect the no-show, or we can sit there longer.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I send a message when I first get there to let them know I'm here. And if I get something back saying, hey, I'm running late, I'll be down in a couple minutes, then I'm not going to leave.
Yeah.
Other drivers, that 5 minutes is up, they hit no-show and they're gone. They don't want to wait that other minute or whatever. I think that's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I canceled the ride. Then I immediately got a phone call. And it was some guy, I think he said his name was John, said that he was with Uber Support Regional Office and that they've got complaints that drivers in the area are letting their friends and family use their accounts and go around and pick people up.
Mm-hmm.
Which I started to giggle, but
mm-hmm.
whatever. So he said that he needed to verify who I was, and for my troubles, that they would credit me $20.
Mm-hmm.
Uber don't credit nothing.
Yeah.
Nor Lyft, anything. So I'm like, okay. And I was just going to play them out, just like I do every telemarketer that calls me. I love fucking with them.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You say anything you want.
All right. Well, then I can tell the whole story.
Yes.
So he tells me to pull over, safe, like he's part of Uber support,
mm-hmm.
and says that he needs to verify my phone number. I'm like, no, if you need to do any verification, periodically, every other day, sometimes I've had it happen twice in a night, especially if I do a full 12-hour shift with
mm-hmm.
just Uber. We have to take a photo, facial recognition photo. Mm-hmm. You have to line up your eyes with their little dots and your chin, everything, click it. Says, okay, continue, go online. Mm-hmm. Well, he said he needed my phone number. And what they do is they try to get that information from me, because then they can log into Uber and put in my phone number, and that gives them access to my account. That sends it sends a text with a PIN number mm-hmm. to them. And I don't know what kind of software, whatever they're using, but somehow they get into our system, change the banking info, and then collect whatever we have in our earnings report for the week. So they hit you pretty hard on Sundays because at 4 a.m. Monday is the start of the new week.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sundays is when most of these scams come out because they're trying to get somebody that has a whole week's worth of earnings, which I've had $2,000+ in a week. And a lot of people, they cash out at the end of every day or every hour or whatever. Now you can set it up to where you get paid, it goes right into your bank account. It doesn't stay in there anymore. Nice. I'm not too worried about it. But well, especially now when it's so slow. But when it gets busy again, I think I'll probably do that. Just have it put right into my checking account.
Does it take money off the top for doing that?
Yeah, it's 50 cents for every cash out. If you just do an instant cash out, it's 50 cents. Unless, like I have an Uber Visa card, prepaid card. I use it for fuel because I get 4% back on every fuel purchase.
Yeah.
So if I cash out to that on Uber, then I don't get a fee taken out. Otherwise, it's 50 cents.
Okay.
And if you just wait till Monday morning, it takes a day to get paid for the direct deposit and stuff. But anyhow, so I told him, no, I'll just send me the facial recognition and I'll do that.
Yeah.
And he says, all right, well then I guess I'm going to have to come to your house and give your old lady the big black cock. And I giggled just like you are, but I was fast enough to say, well, you're going to have to take it out of your mouth first. And that instantly pissed him off and told me that he knew where it was. He's going to come down there and we're going to have words. I said, well, be sure to take the cock out of your mouth so I can understand what you have to say. And he hung up on me. I did say, bring it. You know where I'm at? Bring it.
Yeah.
But be sure to take that out of your mouth. And then he hung up. So I went on our Facebook page and let everybody know what was happening. And a lady also got hit with the same thing. And she did the same thing, but they didn't call her. She just hit cancel and cancel. See, if I cancel a ride, whether it's a scam or not, it still counts against my cancellation. And I'm what's called an Uber Platinum driver. I've earned so many points in a 3-month period that like I get free online tuition through Arizona State.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I'm a duck. I'm not going to Arizona State. No offense to your mother. But hi, Kim. But yeah, they give you all sorts of different. No, I feel bad about saying that.
Don't.
I mean the story, not about Arizona State. I'm just telling that story. Anyhow,
you're all right. I don't have
lots of different stuff. So, one of the things is 4% back on gas purchases. So I just have everything put in there. But what I was saying about the cancellation, if I have less than an 85% acceptance rate, I get kicked off that platform. I don't get any of those bonus or any of those benefits. So, and I accept all rides. I don't, unless it's Lyft and it takes more than 10 minutes to get there, I won't take it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why. And plus, it was an easy $5 for me to sit there, and then I got a great laugh out of it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Do you ever get like radio cab or any of the cab drivers like fake rides on there? Because one of my friends was telling me one time they'll sit around the airport and they'll request a ride so that somewhere else close to the airport, so more of these Lyft drivers and stuff will leave the airport parking lots.
No, if you're in the airport queue, you only get called to the airport.
Oh, do they have a special queue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's right where 82nd meets Airport Way. There's that 7-Eleven there. I think when I took you guys to the airport, I said the 24-Hour Dutch Brothers is right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right behind that, that's the airport queue. And cabs sit out there, Lyft, Uber, and then there's the another shuttle bus that goes through there. But I think they might just stop to use the bathroom now that I think about it. I never see anybody get out of there. Nobody parks there or anything. I think it might just be a staging area for one of the park and fly buses and stuff.
That makes sense.
But if you're in that queue, you're put in order. So like I'll pull in and it'll say there's 37 Lyft cars ahead of you. So I have to wait till I get down, and usually when I'm 5 or less, that's when you get called up there. Uber gives you 21 to 25 cars ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're in that, you won't get called anywhere else but the airport.
Nice.
And now, from I think it's 8 a.m. till midnight,
Mm-hmm.
it's all a pin pickup. So Uber and Lyft call you up there. Lyft, now that I think about it, unless you're an XL, XLs get called up just like anybody else requesting a ride anywhere else. But Lyft, you can still request a certain driver to come out, so you see who's coming. Now it's Lyft, you have a 4-digit pin, basically come out and get in your car, just like a cab line.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cabs sit right by us out there too when they can move up.
Nice.
So there's no way to really send you on a BS ride out of the airport queue.
Yeah.
But I've never had anything like that happen.
I remember in the early days of Uber and Lyft being at least popular here, one of my friends at Doug Fur was doing it, and he was saying that, I'm sure it was before that queue thing happened, but he was saying
that just started.
Yeah.
Mother's Day last year.
He was saying that the cabbies would request rides as passengers, like really close to where the airport is, but they were just BSing it. So they'd get as many Lyft drivers to accept it and drive out there as they can, just to keep people away from the airport as much as they could.
Yeah, but there's at times 120 cars, Lyft cars.
Yeah.
Not Lyft and Uber, just Lyft cars out there. 120 cars out there.
Mm-hmm.
But now, cabs have their own line.
Mm-hmm.
Uber and Lyft have their own. So maybe, I can only speak next month. A month from tomorrow, actually, is my 1-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't speak to anything before that. I've never heard of anybody doing that. But I don't know why they would, because it would charge them for like a no-show or cancellation. I mean, if you request a ride right now, you have 2 minutes to cancel without getting charged.
Maybe they just hated Lyft drivers enough to just eat it.
I don't know. Maybe, but that's...
Are you guys protected by the same union as cabbies are?
Nope.
As your cab drivers?
We are independent contractors. I'm my own union.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's basically we're self-employed.
Okay, that's interesting.
Now California just passed that law where
Mm-hmm.
and it's screwing a lot of things up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what people thought was going to be great, certain different wages. I guess now in California, one thing I saw on the Facebook page is people can set their own rates, which is crazy. I don't know, but it's kind of backfiring in everybody's face down there, from what I heard. But that's just from drivers that's flown up here to visit.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "You guys get to set yours like we do in California?" I'm like, no, because it's a pain in the ass. Because people see that you're charging this much and then cancel and pick up somebody else that's charging the original.
Yeah.
And each market has a different rate card. Like here in Portland, which goes as far south as Wilsonville. After me, it's in the Salem market. I can get dispatched to that side from being in Wilsonville, but it doesn't show like busy and bonuses. I have to cross the Willamette to be put into that market.
Oh, okay.
Once I cross the Willamette, then I can't see where it's busy in Portland. But in the Portland market, we get paid 70.5 cents a mile and 24.5 cents a minute. So basically 96 cents per mile a minute together. If you're going 60 miles an hour, that's what you're making.
Yeah. In
the Salem market, and along with Bend, which I go to and work when I go visit my parents, I get paid $1.20 a mile and 18 cents a minute. So I make 50 cents more a mile just on the other side of the Willamette River from where I live.
Is that because there's probably less drivers there?
Yeah.
So
it's less of a market.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so the Portland market goes from as far south as Wilsonville, as far west as Newburgh and the wine country area, Dundee. They just opened that up. East is like Welch's up Mount Hood, and then we can still get ride requests at Multnomah Falls. And then north as far as Ilani or ALNA, however you want to say it, the casino, Ridgefield, basically, or the center, I mean. Yeah. Nice. And then you move into, after that, you move into the Longview market. I guess. So
Vancouver in general is kind of lumped into that.
It's the Portland market, yeah.
Makes sense.
And I can work anywhere in Oregon but Eugene. Eugene has their own thing. I can go to K Falls, Medford, any other place, Bend like I have. Like I did 3 trips in Bend and was over $100 just from picking up at the Redmond airport and going into Bend.
Yeah.
It's great.
Why does Eugene have their own thing?
Because they have a very large cab. The cabs are fighting it, just like they did here first. And the city council wants their own little cut of the pie. Like every ride I do in the city of Portland gets 50 cents of it.
Really?
I paid them, what was it, like $1,600 last year.
Damn.
I got almost 4,000 rides done between the 2 platforms.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of rides.
Yeah.
A lot of driving.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but I started with just Lyft in March. And I was, when my X5, my BMW had to get worked on, and I knew it was going to be down, I rented the car through Lyft. So I did their express drive thing, which I rented the car, but each week, if you did a certain amount of rides, like if I did 115 rides in a week, I got 190 in bonuses. The car was $229 a week to rent. So my bill for the week of the car was $67.12 to drive around in a new car from a Hertz rent-a-car. And it was, I could get in it and drive to Disneyland if I wanted. It was my car. I just had to have it back by Monday. And I had to have at least 20 rides done to be able to rent it again. You know, that was the only restriction. You rent it now, you have till Monday morning to re-rent, but you have to have 20 rides done, completed to re-rent. Well, I was on the top 10 list all 4 weeks of me doing that.
Oh, really?
I went from the highest I made was number 2, and the lowest it was 6. So between 2 and 6 for 4 weeks. At
Is that just based on plus, like how many rides you're doing?
Number 1 had 220 rides the week I got second.
Oh, wow.
All the other weeks he had like 180 and stuff like that. But my largest count was 168 rides in 1 week.
Nice.
And then Lyft deactivated me the week before Mother's Day. Just I got an email saying that I'm deactivated, that there was a report that I punched my passenger and her dog.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
And I called right after I got the email. Nobody answered. I left a message with trust and safety. I emailed back. I did that. That was on Tuesday morning that happened. Because, you know, I do 12-hour shifts, 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. usually. Went home. I went to bed. So I missed the email until I woke up that evening. Emailed, called every day, at least 3 of each. Nobody returned my call. Finally, Thursday, I said, well, I'm not going to rent this car if I can't use it. So I took it back. Right down the street is where the rental car is here in Gresham. And they got me in touch with the trust and safety lady. She said, oh, yeah, I see what's going on. Jordan's is the person that sent the email and was supposed to be handling it. She says, oh, I'm going to talk to Jordan and find out. And I told him, I said, well, for one, I haven't had an animal in my car. I've never given a ride to anybody with an animal or a service animal or anything, which is fine. I'm pet friendly.
Yeah.
Since then, I've had several, so it's wasn't a big deal. 2, why do I still have a 5-star rating? If I assaulted a woman, why would she give me a 5-star rating?
Yeah.
Right? And 3, why aren't the cops at my door?
Yeah.
You know? So something's going on. What's going on? Well, she said, okay, I'll be in contact with you within the hour. I told her I was there to return the car. Let me know. I'll keep the car. If not, I'm done, you know. So I sat there for 2 hours. Nothing. Returned the car. Walked over here to the Cleveland Max station. Rode the Max all the way to Beaverton and west to Wilsonville and was done. So that's when I decided time to start up with Uber. You know, I had my BMW back, but I wasn't going to put the miles on my BMW when I could just put it on their rental car.
Yeah.
It made sense. I got 30 miles a gallon instead of 15 in my twin turbo V8, you know? So, and I averaged 350 plus miles a night.
Yeah.
So I that was the week I bought Mom her dentures.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually needed that week's worth
Mm-hmm.
to cover everything without credit.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up having to do the care credit $1,500 because I already had it all set up for my mom to get dentures.
Mm-hmm.
That was the day after Mother's Day. That afternoon, I went and had my BMW inspected for Uber and started with them. And then that next Tuesday, I went into the hub downtown, which is the Lyft hub.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to the guy there. He got me in touch with Trust and Safety. Another guy, and right off the bat the guy says, it shows right here that you were deactivated Tuesday morning and reactivated within 30 minutes that it was a mistake.
Oh,
really? I'm like, no, I am not reactivated. I cannot go online.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to go online.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it says you're not online. Yeah, I'm sitting outside of the hub. So he transferred me with one of the managers in Trust and Safety. His name's Irving. Great guy.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me his personal number that if I ever have a problem with a passenger or Lyft again, to call him. And turned out it was a mistake. They wouldn't tell me what kind of mistake it was, whether somebody had one digit off my license plate or what. But, I don't know. So that's when I started with Uber. And after then, I do both, but I do very little with Lyft anymore just because of that.
Yeah.
I felt wrong. I mean, I was pissed. Why not call me back?
Yeah.
I was assured that guy's no longer in Trust and Safety, that dropped the ball. I don't know if he was just embarrassed or what, but, I was losing $1,800 a week.
Yeah.
In earnings.
Yeah.
And I had plans for that $1,800.
Yeah, right.
But
damn straight.
Yeah, so that's when I started with Uber, and let's see, Saturday or this last weekend I only worked Saturday and Sunday because it's so slow in January. January is the slowest month of the year from what everybody says. But I worked total 24 hours over the weekend, and I made $600 between the two. So I felt that was good.
Nice.
That's 2 days.
Yeah.
24 hours total, 12 hours each day, technically. But pretty good wage.
Yeah.
You know?
Heck yeah. Yeah. I'm impressed by these all-nighters that you pull.
Yeah. I've always been a graveyard guy.
Uh-huh.
Like I always said, why do you work graveyard? Well, because there isn't anything good on TV during the day. Except for Sunday, the races are on. So that app started yesterday, so I'm real happy about NASCAR being back in the deal. And I understand the parents had a good time. I was so jealous that they were on Tony Stewart's pit box. My God, my mom was going nuts. That's my mom's favorite. It's Tony Stewart.
Really?
Yeah. He doesn't drive anymore. He's just an owner. And the driver that they got to watch, Cole Custer, he just started in NASCAR this year. He got moved up.
Oh, nice.
So he's in the number 41 car. So yeah, they're thinking he's going to do pretty good.
Yeah. I know nothing about NASCAR.
Yeah.
When did the seasons go?
So
I didn't even realize there was seasons.
Yesterday was what's called the Clash, and that was 18 drivers, and basically it's people that won a race or won the pole position, which is starting number one. They're the fastest in qualifying, and I think there were a couple more people than the 18, but only 18 chose to run it. And it was a crash fest. Daytona and Talladega are always the big one, is what they call the wrecks. And there was only 5 cars that finished the race.
Oh, shit.
That's the least amount of cars I've ever seen. And the guy that won, Eric Jones, his front bumper was smashed in because he ran in back with another guy. It was all bare bonds, which is like 200-mile-an-hour tape, taped shut. And Denny Hamlin pushed him to a win, and it was basically like pushing a backwards parachute because that was so much drag. Yeah. But yeah, it pushed him to the win. The one car that didn't have anything wrong with him, Austin Dillon, I think he finished like 4th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just left him out there, and he couldn't get going. Denny Hamlin had one of the fastest cars of the day, but he was 1 lap down because he got in a bad wreck. So. But yeah, it's fun. I like NASCAR.
See, my only, and this is like why I don't really watch most sports in general either, is that the pace of it is really, I don't know. I don't like to make a whole day out of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I'm there, then it's awesome. Like I love going. Like one of the things I miss about Arizona is going to baseball games all the time.
Yeah.
At the Diamondback Stadium, loved doing that. And you know, baseball's a long ass game.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
sorry. Time to take my pills. Yeah. You should see it when I got passengers in my car and I'm plugged into my CarPlay.
Uh-huh.
That, especially the Asians, it freaks them out. Sounds like a nuclear alarm going off.
A nuclear alarm going off. Yeah, they're like, what's up?
You know, I'm like, oh, sorry, it's time for me to take my meds. But yeah, like the same response you just did.
Anyways, but yeah. So, but I hate watching baseball. I hate watching most sports. Football's okay because at least it's a start and stop. Soccer, I think I like the most because there's like, hey, this is the time limit, and so it's, you know, it's only 2 hours. This is the time limit that we're going. We may go into overtime if we need to, but usually not. Mm-hmm. And there's almost no deviance off of that time, and so there's no timeouts. You know, the clock keeps going.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I don't watch baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's been years since I've watched baseball, and that was when the Mariners were doing really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch basketball. I don't watch hardly any professional stick and ball sports anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't like the attitudes. I like college ball, football, basically. I like watching people that are playing to get a paycheck, not the ones that get a paycheck and think they're spoiled and that their coach has to listen to them. That pisses me off more than anything. If somebody disrespects their coach. The coach has the final say. Don't threaten you're not going to play because you don't like the play the coach called. You know, just get out there and do your job. I totally quit watching football when they started kneeling for the national anthem. I think that's a total disrespect for our flag. I understand First Amendment rights, but you're at your job. If I went to my job and did something like that, I'd get fired. You know, if you went to work and you decide to have your little time to do whatever you want to do, they're not going to be too happy about it.
Yeah.
You know, your First Amendment right is yours on your time, not when you're paid to do something else.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to be out there for the flag, go inside. But don't disrespect our military and, you know, our country. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And Colin Kaepernick saying that he, you know, whatever, he was saying that what's the word I'm looking for? Oppression, whatever. He grew up with a rich white family. He never lived in the hood, never did anything like that. He was top notch at these sports. You know, he was worshipped.
Yeah.
Until he did this, and look what it got him. Now the team won't touch him.
Yeah. I mean, did anything come out of the tryout? No, the tryouts that he was doing, because I know he got all super particular about it and everything.
Yeah, he did. He did some, but nobody picked him up.
Yeah, I feel like he's a lot of teams are probably hesitant for their fan bases, especially.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's their moneymaker.
Yeah, and so
just like Nike. You know, I'm a true Oregon Duck, and Phil Knight's our number one sponsor, but you won't catch me wearing a piece of Nike gear at all. Especially when they had those Nike shoes that had Betsy Ross and that flag, and Colin Kaepernick criticized it, and they pulled them off the shelves. I mean, that's a piece of history.
Yeah,
Betsy Ross and that flag, but Colin didn't like it, so they completely trashed. I give Nike employees rides all the time. I know those shoes were sold everywhere but the U.S. market.
Really?
They just pulled them off the U.S.
What was the shoe?
It was a Nike shoe, white and red, and on the back it had like the 13. Betsy Ross was a Native American, or not Native American, African American, and I think she designed the flag, the original like 13-star flag. Anyhow, she had something to do with that flag, and he spoke up against it, and they pulled it.
Yeah.
There could be some other stuff going on.
I don't know why I don't know why off the top of my head I cannot think exactly who Betsy Ross
It was
is.
like within the last 6 months.
I'm sorry for my social
Betsy
studies
Ross
teacher.
Designed the flag.
Yeah, she designed the flag.
Okay.
And she's
However,
African
But
American,
she,
right?
no, she's a white lady.
Oh, she is a white lady.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why.
I can't believe I didn't know that.
I mean,
It's been a long time since I've been in school
Well,
with people.
also, it's not something they teach. Like, I mean, they do teach it, but
Yeah.
it's young.
Well,
also-
I went through altitude and trig. You think I can do one of them
well, also the
equations?
I was listening to now that I'm like putting together her name and like what she did and everything. I was listening to a podcast recently about her, and well, not her. It was a short stuff, I think, from Stuff You Should Know about the design of the flag, and it's like apparently really iffy whether or not like Betsy Ross definitely worked on the flag, but they don't know if she really came up with the design and like did everything that they told us in social studies. Now, I'm just saying that that's what the podcast said. They don't know if it like they looking through old notes and everything. It seems to tend more to a lore that was given to specifically Betsy rather than like, yeah, Betsy Ross was the one person.
So from what I remember,
Mhm.
the story being back when it happened, and from the night
Back when you were there, how were the wigs?
when they pulled the gotcha. When they pulled the shoes.
Yeah.
It was because that flag was a representation of when slavery was legal.
Okay.
So, you know, I wasn't raised anything to do with color.
Mm-hmm.
The only black family in my town of Scappoose,
Mm-hmm.
I was very good friends with their son, Lloyd. Mm-hmm. I mean, they got along great. I wasn't raised black and white, nothing like that. So I am oblivious to the things that, you know, the racism of other people.
Yeah.
I did have a guy in my car 3 weeks ago that told me he was happy that I was white, and that, or he was happy that I'm the one that picked him up.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? He started talking about language barriers. I'm like, okay, I can understand that. You know,
yeah,
he's an older guy. You know, well then he got very derogatory about black people, and that pissed me off. And I left him on the corner of Portland Boulevard in Killingsworth. I said, we're here. And he started getting out. He goes, this isn't where I want to go. I go, no, this is where you're getting out. I hope you enjoy the neighborhood. And drove off.
By the way, Betsy Ross was given a sketch of a flag, and she suggested a couple of changes, including arranging the stars in a circle and reducing the points on each star to 5 instead of 6. So she did not completely come up with the flag design, but she's the one who did the main like circle.
Yeah, I do remember it was the circle.
I mean, if you think about, you know, that is the biggest change of the flag from today.
Yeah, but now after rehashing this whole conversation, it wasn't about her and her designing the flag. It was that was the flag of slavery days.
Yeah.
So, again, like I said, like you mentioned, fan base, money. You know, Nike. We're not going to sell them in the U.S., but we're going to make $1 gazillion outside our borders.
Yeah.
So they didn't all end up in a dumpster somewhere.
Yeah.
Or ground up and made into new shoes. They're somebody in India or somewhere else is wearing a pair of those Betsy Ross that probably doesn't have a freaking clue why that flag and that woman's picture's on.
Just a big sneakerhead somewhere.
Yeah. No, not even a sneakerhead. They're not walking in the sand. They got shoes on. They don't care. You know, I mean, third world countries that they were.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people who don't have shoes are necessarily going to go buy Nikes.
Right, but I'm sure somebody around, you know, they could have been donated, whatever.
Yeah, totally.
They just didn't see the stores in the U.S.
Yeah.
Is from what I was told from Nike employees. Because I asked them, I said, can you get a pair? Nope. They were all taken back out of the country and dispersed other places.
Well, if they were that, I bet you can find them secondhand. Then.
Oh, I'm sure they're on dark web or whatever. I don't know.
Well, you can buy them at Foot Locker.
The Betsy Ross ones?
That's what it says. Oh no, not those ones.
Yeah.
What are those ones?
They're just Nike Air Max.
Oh.
Those are
Yeah.
just the regular ones.
They just
Yeah.
gave me the suggested, like, red, white, and blue Nike Air Max one. But
Well, here, try this one. It's like Google.
Yeah.
You put in something and you got to make sure you get past the first 4 because they're not exactly what you're looking for. They're the ads that you're, you know, similar to.
Yeah. But that actually kind of leads into something I wanted
you
to.
can buy them for $69 or $64.60 on DHgate.com. So
I don't even know if anyone can hear you.
I can hear it, but so
I
you
know,
can
but-
still buy them online somewhere.
Yeah.
DHgate.com.
they might not be 100% authentic.
Oh, so they could be pirated ones.
I
Oh,
mean,
so
I
they're
don't know.
fake.
They go on eBay for $13.50.
This has a pen pocket.
Oh my god.
I just found out my shirt had a pen pocket, and I'm stoked. I love pen pockets. Anyways.
All right. Isn't that where you put your temperature thermometer thing for work?
No, I got this shirt at Goodwill, and just recently.
Oh.
Yeah.
I meant like pin pockets when you're cooked. Don't they have them?
Oh yeah,
for, like,
yeah.
your
But I just keep.
Okay, it's done.
Yeah, I just keep mine. I don't work with a lot of raw foods when I'm firing on the line. Most of the stuff's pre-cooked because we don't. It's really small, so we only have an oven that we're working
Speaking
with.
of food,
hmm
could you ask Sydney, right, your bartender?
That's one of them.
That made that lemonade.
Oh yeah.
Can you
I'll
find
ask
out how
her.
she made that?
Yes, I'll ask
Oh,
her.
that was good. I want to know exactly how she made it. 'Cause she said she makes it tart, usually tart, and that was really good. So tell her I loved it.
I wonder if she put grapefruit juice in it. She puts grapefruit juice
It
in
tasted
everything
like
else.
lemon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
She likes that dry tanginess, like grapefruit. Hannah accidentally bought a bunch of grapefruit. She thought they were oranges.
Oh, at Fred Meyer's, they had grapefruit and navel oranges on sale in the same bin.
That's what happened to me.
Yep, that's exactly.
They're
Yeah,
big oranges.
we were
but
at Fred
they
Meyer.
weren't. Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
were
just
at
saw
Fred
them
Meyer.
today when I went and bought those pre-done hash browns. I like.
Mhm.
I was going to ask you about that too.
Oh yeah.
How do you make hash browns? How do you know,
Like-
breakfast hash browns? You know,
Mhm.
like the real thinly sliced. How do you
Mhm.
do it?
How
Have you ever done it?
would I
It
do
worked?
it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My mom
So-
says you partially boil the potato.
Yeah. So if you wanna keep it
Not great.
not gray, yes, you'll want to boil it first and then freeze it. So there's two ways.
No,
you
I
can-
want to make it and eat it. I don't want to save it and cook it later. I'm talking about like making
All right.
fresh.
So then if
you got a potato, you got a pan. You want
okay,
to
so
shred that
it
shit,
will
put
it
in the
will
pan.
get a slightly gray, but what you
Not crispy.
and not as crispy, but you can just grate it straight into your pan or onto a
Okay.
flat top. If you want it to be crispier
Mhm.
and you want it to be not gray, then I would suggest doing one of two things: either flashing them in boiling water. So basically, what you do is you quickly grate all your the potato that you want, have boiling
Gotcha.
water already ready to go. Dunk it in there for a few seconds, minutes, depending on how big of a grate you got. And then skim it all out, put it on a sheet tray, throw it in the freezer. And so that's essentially
What's the freezer thing for?
what the freezer is going to do. Is going to cool it down
Before you cook it?
before you cook
So
it.
you can't just flash it, drain it, stick it
Well,
in the
because
pan.
then it's still going to be super watery.
It needs to dry out.
So that's why you're going to leave it out on a sheet tray. So essentially, in a big, like if a processing plant was going to do it, right? So
like the ones I buy.
yeah, so
Heavenly potatoes, whatever.
which is totally fine.
it
and
works
awesome.
great.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's not worth the hassle to have to do
I know. I did them through my
Yeah.
little slicer thing, and I'm like, it's an hour
Mm-hmm.
to get all this peeled potatoes, slice them up,
Yeah,
and then cleaning all that crap.
yeah.
So now I just cut off
Honestly-
the top of the bag, dump however many I'm gonna eat, throw some butter in there,
Exactly. Yep.
season, I'm done.
Yep. So yeah, all those
I ain't gonna worry
others.
about it then.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, well, you know what? Surprisingly, like I actually really like is those camping hash brown potatoes.
The dehydrated ones.
The dehydrated
that
ones.
Costco has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, you just
they just had
open up the milk carton
last week for their samples.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love those.
She says you just put some hot water in there or water, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You go make yourself a cup of coffee. You come back and they're ready to cook.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I love those things, and I used to buy them and keep them around the first house I lived in when I moved here.
Yeah.
I would just buy like a case of
I bought a case of
ready to go
a couple years ago.
and just
then I found these
every
ones.
morning.
I like these ones.
But anyway, so leading into this, I just wanted to. I'm gonna look exactly at what I said. Okay, so a lot of the leftist media that and I consume everything. A lot, like I listen to Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro, a bunch of different libertarian podcasts. Eyes Left, which is a military socialist.
Some drunk pastors.
Drunk ex-pastors, but they're not.
I know.
They're not very political. They're just two dudes having a conversation, which I love.
I watched it once. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, they're great. But a lot of these, especially the leftist podcasts, keep having this same weird conversation where they're like, we don't understand who the Trump voter is, and like, or they go, oh, the Trump voter is just this racist. Racist piece of shit, garbage, and the person that they're even, especially, oh man, I'm blanking on the name of the podcast. It's really popular too. Anyways, they talk about it all the time. Is like, how do we get the Obama Trump voter? And they don't know who these people are, and they're like, who are these people?
I was an Obama Trump voter.
Exactly.
And am I racist?
No, I don't know. And so that's like kind of partially why I wanted to have this conversation with you about this.
From day one, I've
Mm-hmm.
said, even when 2015, when that all started, or 2016, when he announced, I'm like, no, that he's never going to make president. But then you listen to what he has to say and his plans and the problems that was never brought to light before, because a businessman never ran for president. He talked about what crippled the American economy, what we take care of other countries before we even take care of ourselves.
Yeah, that's a huge issue.
So from the very beginning, I always said I'm not a Trump person liker. I don't like him as a person. Never really cared for him. But what he wants to do for this country, I can get behind. Yeah, there's some things that I don't care about.
Yeah.
But what politician can you say you're 100% for?
Yeah, exactly. None,
right?
Zero.
Yeah. And the whole Russian collusion crap and all that, they even said there's not one evidence of a vote being changed due to anybody's.
Yeah, and like with I feel like a lot of people in general because the media was calling it a hacking.
Yeah.
And what literally happened was not a hacking of a computer system to change the voting process.
It was all ads.
There was a lot of ads bought up by I forget the name of the company, but the National something Association. Anyways, it's basically like a counterintelligence agency from the Russians, and they bought up a bunch of ad space, and they created Facebook groups and fake Facebook profiles, and
they used Facebook against us.
Yeah,
because they can see, Facebook knows what you and I and Hannah click on.
Yeah, they just
and then all of a sudden that's all you get is that stuff.
Yep.
I made a mistake of clicking on a pair of tactical pants once. Now I see that same ad every freaking day I go online. It's the third ad third thing from the top when I start scrolling. It's the first thing off the screen. I don't know how to get it to stop, but anyhow. So I don't go by what pundits from any Fox, CNN, anything. I don't go by what they say. I go by what I watch debates. I watch live events of what he has to say, or what for now Joe Biden or Bernie or anybody has to say. I go by what I like to hear, what they say that appeases to me. I don't care what Tucker Carlson has to say, or Hannity, or Kumo, or that crazy bitch Madoff, whatever her name is. I don't know. I don't know how she has a TV show, to be honest with you. She talks about. Anyhow, she should be like on The View or something. But anyhow, what started was I watched a live press conference of what Trump had to say. I went directly to CNN and watched it, and they cut and spliced and everything to where I just watched what he said, but their playback makes it sound totally different. And, I can record 6 different stations at a time on my DVR. So I record an hour after on CNN, an hour after on Fox, and I watch them to see what is changed. And to be honest with you, Fox News, they are very fair at most point. I mean, sometimes they gang up on the Democrat person, but they always have one from every from each side, and they listen to them. But when they go off on their other talking points, they cut them out. But and that's with both sides. It's
totally.
That way. And
that's why I don't watch any of it anymore.
I got to work. I like Tucker because he really brings out a lot of the lies. There's a lot of shit going on in our government that we don't know anything about. And stuff that that needs to see the light of day, but there's so much paper trail and everything's buried, and it's on both sides. I mean, at first I was Democrat since I was 18. I don't know if you know this, but since 1990, June 6, 1990, I registered as a Democrat, and I stayed a Democrat until 2018 when I finally said, I don't want to be a Democrat. I changed in 2018 so I could vote in the primaries to Republican. But I've always, even being a registered Democrat, I voted both ways. I voted for Republicans, I voted for Democrats. But I never paid attention like I do now. Politics was just, that's a song I don't want to listen to. Change the station, But after 2016, it's like, I want to be more involved. I want to know what I'm voting for. The illegal aliens, I think Trump is doing the best that he can to curb that. I mean, it needs to be curbed. We have loopholes after loophole after loophole that allows people to stay here. But in the sanctuary city stuff, needs to come to an end. I mean, just in our town here, illegal aliens that are arrested for rape or whatever, and then they get out and they're shielded from ICE that wants to deport them out of our country. There's that guy that turned around and raped 2 more girls and killed a 67-year-old woman. It just happened in New York. Killed a 92-year-old woman. Something needs to be done. And I don't even know if I'm on the right subject of what you were saying.
No, you're fine. I kind of wanted to.
I mean, that's why I voted for Trump. I did. I voted for Trump. And right now, I don't see any reason why I'm not going to vote for him again. I like what our economy is at. I like a lot of his stuff. There's not a bill that can be passed that's going to appease 100% of people. There's going to be cuts here. There's going to be stuff there. The socialism part, we cannot make it as a country under Bernie Sanders. Free welfare or Medicare for all. Over 10 years, they're estimating that to be over $60 trillion. The U.S. government brings in maybe $3.5 to $4 trillion a year as we sit right now. Do you think our taxes are high enough?
I think you need them higher if you're going to actually do any of this.
You're going to need them higher. I'm saying, do you think you pay enough in taxes as it is?
No.
Do you want more money to come out of your check?
If it means that, for me personally. So for me, if I don't have a problem with more money coming out of my check if that means that I don't have to worry about healthcare. If I get sick, I can go to the hospital. My kids can go to the hospital. That means
kids are already protected.
Yes, but only state by state, not federally.
Right.
So, for instance, Arizona doesn't have nearly as many children's protections as we do here. So those things would have to be federal. Another thing that I think is at least some form of community college and state schools being free. I'm not even saying that every university needs to change into, and by the way, but when I say free, I know that I'm actually saying like come out of through taxes and the government's paying for it via us paying for it. I that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it is totally free. Everything's free. It's not. Everything comes with a price. But I am totally okay with, personally, with my taxes going up, if that means that all of that happens and we stop, and I think based on what we've talked about before, like pulling out of places in the Middle East and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Stop.
We don't need to be over there.
We don't need to be over there.
We don't need to be over there.
We don't need to be spending as much
money. We do
money
not need to rebuild their country.
No. And so we need to get out of there, and we need to stop. I mean, cut military. I mean, if we cut military spending in half, which I know is not like going to happen next year, you know what I mean? But let's say you cut military spending in half. You pull all the troops out of every other fucking little place we have. You ask Puerto Rico, hey, do you want to be a state or not? No? Okay. Well then, deuces.
You want to be that with Costa Rica?
Yeah, exactly. And everything. They're like, hey, do you want to be a state? No? Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Sorry. Do your own
Here's
thing.
your bill of sale. We're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so here's your land back. Here's a bunch of money. Bye. Then I think you free up enough money, and if you do increase taxes, and on top of that, so I'll finish what I was going to say. Then yeah, I'm okay with paying more taxes. But a thing that I actually line with conservatives is, at least if you're going to look at like a map of what conservatism, quote unquote, is a percentage-based tax rather than what we have now with this sliding scale of different things and like depending on how much money. Yeah, and so you make more, you pay more. So let's say every single individual, right? I'm just throwing out a general number, pays 10%, right? Well, now
that'd be great.
That'd be wonderful. Yeah,
we're paying 30-some%.
Yeah, so like I'd be cool with. So I'd be super okay with 10, 20, whatever that number is. I mean, so let's just go lowball at 10%. Okay, now think of the upper half, even up to the top 1% of this country, and earners aren't paying anything. If not anything, almost nothing. And if they are paying taxes on their stuff because they haven't donated to enough charities.
Like Amazon.
Okay, yeah. So businesses.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Those kinds
that
of
is
people.
The state's fault.
Yeah.
That lies in the state, not the federal government. The federal government doesn't control the state, the taxes that they pay.
Why not?
Those are the tax. They're talking about like property tax, business tax, stuff like that.
Yeah, that should all be stopped.
Right. And states are allowed to do that they think, well, we're going to bring all these jobs into our area, so we're going to give them tax breaks.
So you stop doing that and force those companies to pay a percentage.
Yes.
So you have to pay a percentage on this. That way you have however many millions of dollars, but maybe even billions of dollars from one Amazon alone coming back into the government. And then you can pay for things like Medicare for all and I'm saying some education, higher education for free. Like I said, I'm not saying like you have to make Harvard free to everybody. Like
no,
I'm talking about like community colleges.
True federal schools, Harvard, all those Ivy League schools, those are private.
Yeah.
Those are for profit.
Yeah.
The non-profits like the community college or stuff like that. Yeah, I mean I remember when I went to school in Portland Community College after I graduated, my tuition for the semester was $600.
Yeah, it's like,
And to go back on the healthcare stuff, pre-Obama, for Obama twice. I wish I would have paid attention beforehand, but pre-Obama, I could afford healthcare. Everybody could afford healthcare. But once the affordable Obamacare, whatever they call it now, once that went in effect, all healthcare prices start going up.
Yeah.
They priced everybody out of their healthcare. They need to. That's why I was all for them to repeal that. You know, there was limitations. Like, you can only buy health care since you live here in this area.
Yeah.
Trump wanted to make it nationwide. You know, no zonage. You know, have a free market to choose from. You know, health insurance out of Florida might give you, you know, $1,000 off a year for there because, you know, they're over there. As long as the bills start getting paid, doesn't really matter. But now I've talked to people that ride with me. They're paying $15,000 a year just for basic health coverage.
Yeah.
And it went up when Obamacare was put into it.
Well, yeah, I think Obamacare is garbage. It is so full of holes and has the effect of what's happening now. Yeah. Where most people can't afford it.
I live off I have Medicare because I'm disabled with my transplant and stuff and my other physical disabled. I also pay what's called a gap coverage because Medicare only pays 80%.
Yeah.
Now, come down the road, if everybody's on Medicare, are they going to pay 80%, 60%, 100%? What?
Yeah. Well, the hopes would be 100.
Well, the hopes, yeah, but it's not going to happen. Right now, Medicare can't even negotiate drug costs. You know, pharmaceutical. They can't even negotiate prices like that.
Yeah.
And then I don't want some bureaucrat sitting in a building overriding my doctor for a procedure I need. You know, it's already done on the private level. You get the government involved, that's a whole nother basket of worms. Yeah. You know, and I pay $95 a month for my other coverage. It's a $130 something that's taken out of my Medicare, my disability check every month for my Medicare. You know, that's not free. I still pay for it. Yeah. It's only $134, but I don't make that much on disability. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing Lyft and Uber, right? So I pay, that comes out off the top. Then I pay almost $200 on the other one. Then I pay my prescription costs. You know, back when the girls were younger in pre-2008, I was paying for the family less than $200 a month for insurance, paid 80%. I had $5 copays for office visits, you know, and I can't remember prescriptions, but they weren't outrageous like they are today. But first thing they need to do is pass a bill on pharmaceuticals. Yeah. They need to end the $6,000. I mean, I'm taking a medication that's $800 a month. Just my basic one. When I had that CMV virus that I caught from my donor. That medication was $8,700 a month to take 2 pills a day.
Yeah, I wonder how much that costs in the UK.
Yeah, and how long it's not like it was brand new. Yeah. They've had that. Yeah. But the prices still go up. They haven't added anything cost of, you know. Yeah. They're not putting out any money to produce this than they already have. Yeah. And they're charging that so they have more money to pay their people and other research and development. But
yeah, and so we need to figure out pharmaceuticals super bad. The part of the problem is that the pharmaceutical companies are in cahoots with the insurance companies that are in cahoots with the hospitals. It's like this 3-way trifecta of shit. And so
I got a perfect example.
Yes, please.
I'm diabetic, right? I go to my doctor. I automatically have what they call a stage 4 appointment because I'm diabetic. I can go to the doctor because I have a sore throat, but I still get paid. I still get charged the diabetic, like we're talking about my diabetes and doing all that stuff. There's stage 1, which is like $84. Stage 2, which is, a little bit more. Stage 3, stage 4 was almost $200 a doctor's visit. I could be there for 5 minutes for him to do a referral to go get a chest x-ray to make sure I don't have pneumonia. I still get charged the stage 4 because I'm diabetic. That's what the doctor's offices do.
Yeah.
If you have a pre-existing condition, which is the other thing that irritates me, is the left keeps saying that Trump wants to end pre-existing conditions. He's stated over and over and over again that it's not going to be that way. I suffered from pre-existing conditions, being diabetic since 25 and a half years.
Yeah.
So when I changed jobs, I had to wait a year to get any coverage on that. I got insurance after 30 days or 90 days, but I had to wait a year from when I started my insurance before they'd cover my insulin or anything like that. I had to pay out of pocket for that pre-existing.
No, she was just telling us we're getting close to time.
Oh.
But you're fine. Keep talking.
But I lost my train of thought. Anyhow, yeah, the doctor's offices are charging extra. They charge that because Medicare doesn't pay that much. Medicare pays nothing.
Yeah.
Like my eye doctor, $1,700 to get a shot in my eye. I used to get them every 3 weeks. That's what got charged to Medicare. Medicare paid $110.
And everything else was on you?
It would have been on me, but I had gap insurance that covers everything. Well, no, Medicare has determined amounts that they'll pay for this.
Okay.
So that's why you have to ask a new physician, do you take Medicare? If they don't want to take that cheaper payment, then they won't. But they only allow this much, and the other part's written off to where I'm not liable for.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. The doctors won't take Medicare, some of them, especially the mom and pop doctors.
Yeah.
That depend on that $150. But now everybody's in like Legacy Group or Providence or OHSU. They're in a big doctor office thing. Whatever. Can't think of it. Network, that's it. And if you go, there was just something I read about, I think it was in New York. It was in the Oregonian. No, it was here. The lady went to the doctor, had to get lab work done. Well, they did lab work in the office. So she did it there. Well, that lab was a private lab, so it was out of network. So her $118 lab work turned into $18,000 bill. And they found it was all the doctor that saw her is a managing partner in that lab.
Oh, then of course he's going to send it over
so
there
and
rake in a bunch of extra cash.
She got the bill, which they weren't supposed to send her the bill because they just sent it to the insurance company, hoping that they would just pay it because everything's computer generated.
Yeah.
And she called the insurance company, and they're like, "No, we ain't paying that." Well, then they tried telling her that she was owed it. Well, after the stink came down on them, they said, "No, never mind. It was a $100 test. That's what you'll pay." But yeah, I tried billing her outside of now they're talking about making a law where if you send somebody out of network, you have to let them know. She didn't know. It's in the same place as her doctor was.
Yeah. Any law protecting people, I'm down.
But
so, on a light note, did you hear about or I should say lighter, but did you hear about the recent bike law that got passed at this?
The roll through stop signs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's such fucking dumb
They do it already.
I know.
The cops don't write them a ticket. You know how many people I've almost hit at night?
Probably
That's why I don't go out till 9, because it's after all the foot traffic in the dinner hour downtown.
Yeah.
Like, I'll start earlier and go out to Beaverton, Hillsboro. But I do not have that much trust in humanity to cross the street without looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Period. I have people just walk against the light. The other night I was going down Burnside and Broadway, that light. I had a green light. This guy comes walking out. I slam on my brakes. I came within inches of hitting him. I have the green light. He goes over and then stops when the red light goes, and he waits till the green light goes. I'm like, now you're waiting? Now you're supposed to walk.
Yeah.
And he just stood there. And the lady that was in the back seat was furious. She says, that's why I don't drive. People like this. If I come downtown, I get a Uber or a Lyft.
Yeah.
But yeah, to roll through stop signs is crazy.
Yeah. I was like, no, it's supposed to be the laws are, it's always been
as a vehicle.
Then you need
They
to.
jumped up and down, screamed, cried. They got all the bike lanes, everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're treated like a vehicle, but now you can roll through a stop sign. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Well, and so someone I was talking to outside while I was having a cigarette on my break about this when it happened last month was like, well, they let them roll through stop signs or stoplights. And I was like, no, you're not allowed to roll through a stoplight. The only way as a cyclist or on a motorcycle or a scooter that you can go through a stoplight is if it's a censored stoplight and you have ran through 2 cycles without it changing for you. And so that's the only way you can go on a red light. That is not the same as a stop sign because there is no blinking red light being like,
there's no 4-way stop.
There's no, you need to stop. And so I'm just waiting until
somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah. Someone's going to run right through while someone else is waiting to go. And it's going to be the driver.
Be at fault. They're going to try to blame it on the driver.
Yeah.
And then the driver's going to say, no, it's the state's fault. You're the one that passed this stupid law. Mm-hmm. You guys are liable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have dash cams on both my vehicles now. Mm-hmm. Is because of that. Exactly.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But as an Uber driver, I wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. I'm just like,
and then how many people ride around in dark clothes and no lights?
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
If I rode around this town, you could see me from the Hubble or from the space station.
Yeah.
With no telescope needed.
Yeah.
I'd be a rolling Christmas tree. Bells, whistles, whatever. I'd even pull a sleigh with Santa in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you could see me. People would go zipping, and they go up the wrong way on a one-way.
Oh,
I'm not looking this
ridiculous.
way. I mean, I look. I don't see any lights because there are people go down the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I look this way.
Mm-hmm. You're
supposed to be following traffic. You have a bike lane.
Yeah.
I go to pull out, and they're right there in the middle of the road and yelling at me because I almost hit them. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, it's insane. You should bare minimum have the lights because that's what's legally required. Yeah. But also at bare minimum wear bright colored clothing, like
reflective gear.
Reflective gear is great.
Did I tell you about the guy I almost hit over in Northeast Portland with the lady? She was in my car. We were going crossing these streets that have the little bike arrows, they go this way. And she says, be careful. They don't stop. I inch through the intersection. Here comes a guy sliding up on my side, sliding up and starts yelling at me because he says he had the right of way. I say, you see that red and white octagon shaped thing on that pole? Mm-hmm. That applies to you. Not me. I don't have one.
Yeah.
And I go, just use a little common sense because me sitting still, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
If we make contact, I'm winning whether I'm moving or not.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that talking to a lot of cyclists that is baffled me because I used to ride a lot more than I do. I barely ride.
I'm all for people riding their bikes.
Oh yeah. But what cyclists seem to think that a lot, I won't say all of them, but a lot of them I talk to seem to act like they're not gonna they're immune from death.
Yeah. And
so they'll ride around without helmets, without lights, weave through traffic, lane split, all these things that I'm like, dude, you are so vulnerable right now. I don't care if you legally can do it or not. Yeah. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I'm talking about I never lane split. I never rolled through traffic, nothing like that. I always stayed exactly where a car would be if I was there because that is the best place to be seen. And so and so many of them were like, I'd be there waiting, and there'd be 3-4 guys just zipping through traffic and weaving around everybody and just checking to make sure the light's gone and then riding with no helmet and fucking t-shirt on and no lights. And I'm like,
so everybody I've talked to that has done something and we've had words, They said, you hit me, I'm suing you. I go, so you're saying I'm going to buy your casket?
Yeah. Right?
That's it. If I hit you, I'm going to hit you.
Right?
And I'm not stopping until I hit you. I'm going to make sure I do a good job. You know? Nah, I didn't say that. But
yeah.
Still, you know, what's suing me going to do if you're dead?
Exactly.
Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
I still don't understand it.
So what the guy who hit you with his car might legally go to jail or something like that. You're dying.
Yeah. Only if the driver did something wrong, like
exactly. But
if you're out in the middle of the road
mm-hmm.
and he hit you, now if he intentionally ran you down, like I was just joking about doing, I can see that.
Yeah.
But another thing that irritates me now, you know, they have the bike crosswalks now, which is great. Yeah. I understand that. But when people get in a regular crosswalk, that irritates me. When they ride their bike across that crosswalk and think we have to stop. They're in a vehicle. I can't take my motorcycle down that crosswalk. Yeah. You have to get off and push your bike across there. Otherwise, you stay in the lane of traffic and wait your turn.
Yeah, especially in Portland, because it's actually illegal for them to ride their bikes on the sidewalk or on crosswalks, and so you're not allowed to do that in Portland. Now, once you get to like Gresham and out here, a lot of people ride on the sidewalk, which I mean, I used to at night all the time because it's just the span. It's way more. There's not as much light out here.
At night, you should be outside.
Yeah, like especially out here or any like suburb or whatever, because anything that's not super well lit, like just get on the freaking sidewalk, because you're just begging to get hit by a car while you're riding in the bike lane in the dark or running over something that you can't see. So the sidewalks are typically pretty clear, and it's a little bit of a bumpier ride, but when I ride at night out here, I ride on the sidewalk.
And in Portland, a lot of it, like Stark and Gleason, those were all 4-lane roads. They've closed one lane and made it bike. Yeah. Just like on Williams in Vancouver. That was the first one I saw. Yeah. In fact, I got in trouble for driving. You know, first time I've been out there in 15 years. I'm driving down the bike lane. Everybody's honking at me like, "Hey!" I'm like, "What?" I didn't know it was a bike lane. But yeah, they've closed one. You know, out here in Southeast Portland, they closed one lane and made it bike lane, and they're still riding down the middle of the street. That's what I don't understand. You have a lane that's bigger than my lane, and you're still out here in my lane. Yeah. You have a designated road to stay in, and you're not in it. Yeah.
It's one thing when you're turning or whatever, but like if you're just gonna hang out and ride in the bike lane. Yeah. This massive lane designated for you.
And as Uber and Lyft drivers, we have to take a bicycle test before we can get approved.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we have to take a City of Portland test, and 90% of it is basically out, don't park in the bike lanes. You know, because it is illegal to travel in a bike lane. Yeah. Even if you cut the corner and go through the bike lane, unless it has dotted lines, you can get a ticket for it. Yeah.
But anyways. All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah. We got to talk about lots of good stuff. And look, everyone, a good, nice person who voted for Trump. They exist. Most of the people.
I'm not a racist.
No, you're not a racist. And most of the people. And most of the people who voted for Trump are not racist either. So before we go spitting other leftist people, before we go spitting bullshit rhetoric about other Americans and other normal people, think about it for a second. And remember that we are talking about other persons with brains and souls too.
I will add.
Yes.
There is only one race. And that's the human race. Seriously. That's the way I look at it. I don't care what color you are. You're human. Hell yeah. That's all it takes. You get the same respect as every other human on this earth.
Amen to that. All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Skulls and Knives podcast. Deuces. Why is it not ending? Why are you not... everyone who's watching, listening right now, this happens every single time, and I'm sure you know this.
Well, then you shouldn't act like it's something new.
I know, but
You could just ask me to help you.
the internet the internet lags every time I press end live video, and then it waits until. So then I'm like, pop up. Anyways, so now the pop up's here. So
You guys
actually,
did pretty good on the sound level throughout most of